Some people don't realize this, but the way they feel about themselves changes based off of how their partner treats them. And that's where the problem starts. Subscribe. Make sure you guys subscribe. Mood depends on your partner. So a lot of people do this a lot when they're seeking validation. When their partner compliments them or says something nice to them, that's when they're all happy. They feel secure. They feel wanted, they feel needed. But as soon as the partner or the person starts to say something negative, which I do understand, or they start to become a little bit more distant, that's when they're like, they start asking their partner, like, do you love me? Am I still wanted? Like, do you still want me? They don't ask like, am I still wanted? But they'll be like, do you love me? Am I enough? Like, you feel those type of feelings because you need that validation because you're depending everything upon your partner. Like if your partner is saying something nice, that's when your mood is all up, and you shouldn't think this way. A lot of people seek validation when their mood depends on their partner. If their partner says something nice, then they feel secured. But then when their partner feels distant, that's when they're just like, okay, I feel like he don't like me. He doesn't feel like he's interested in me. And it's like, you shouldn't depend on your partner based off of what he says and what he doesn't, because that's when they start to determine your value. Like they start telling you what your value is without you knowing your value, if that makes sense. So that's the first thing. Comment down below if you've ever done this before. I think I can relate to this. In the beginning of my relationship, I did like if he was distant, I was like, my mood depended on if he was distant or not. So I think I can relate to this one, but I think it was just a young mindset. Like it was just like, oh, I would be asking him like crazy questions like, oh, do you still love me because you didn't say this or you didn't say that? I think that's just a girl. Like when you're a girl, you just have that mindset. But I don't do that anymore. So put some W's in the chat for me because I don't do that anymore. So if you still do this, it's not a bad thing. It's just you just have to be more aware of it and be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I do need to change. The second thing is looking for answers, right? You start looking towards your partner for any type of answer. Like you don't know how to answer any questions, or you don't know how to say anything to yourself. Like if they ask you questions, it's kind of like, I don't know, ask my partner. Well, that's more so like you're like really depending on your partner for answers, basically. So when you start asking yourself, do they still like me? Am I doing too much? Am I enough? And without realizing, you're putting them in a position to define your worth, which I said in the beginning. When you start looking for answers, you start allowing your partner to define who you are and what your worth is without even knowing your worth. So, people that seek validation always ask for questions and look towards their partner for answers. So always remember that if you're asking your man, like, do you love me? Do you this? But I feel like this is a childish mindset. Like back then, I keep telling y'all, I think I used to do this without even realizing that I was doing this. But I feel like if someone is distant, obviously that's going to mess up your mood. So is that really seeking validation? Because it's like, okay, like if you're distant, but when you start looking for answers and you start depending on your partner to tell you certain things, that's when it's wrong. But yeah. And mood, it's more so like, let's say he was busy. That's when I would be like, okay, like, it seems like you're not interested in me. And it's like, he was like, no, babe, I was just busy. I was just doing stuff. I was like, oh, okay. I was just not understanding back then, but now I get it, guys. So I'm pretty sure people went through this looking for answers. Like you're always looking for answers. Like, do you still like me? Am I enough? Da, 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 da. I feel like a lot of girls do this, but yeah, that's the second one. So you got to be careful. I feel like there are times where you could joke and play, but then if you're constantly doing it over and over, it's kind of like you're making your man even question themselves. Like, wait, do I actually like you? Like, you know what I'm saying? It seems like you don't like me, because it's like, why are you projecting that? They start moving different. This is where validation actually shows up, right? Because now you're not acting like yourself anymore. You're adjusting, you're overthinking what they say. So if they say something, you're over here thinking like, oh my gosh, did they mean this? Or why did they say this? You start analyzing every little thing. The next thing is you'll try to not mess things up. So instead of you saying what you want to say, you won't say what you want to say because you don't know how that person is going to react. So it's like, should I say it? Should I not? Okay, I'm not going to say it because I don't want no problems. You do things just to keep them interested. So like I said, instead of doing the things that you want to do, you don't want that person to run away. So you'll be like, you know what, I'm just going to do what you're interested in. So then there's no issues. You get what I'm saying? I think that's when you start changing yourself for that person. Not because it's natural to you, but because you don't want to lose their approval. You don't want them to say like, okay, I don't agree with this, or if you do this, I'm not going to be with you. So you're just going to be like, you know what? Let me just do everything that he wants. Some people would be like, some people are like, when their man tells them, oh, I like French tip, and you like maybe long nails or whatever the case may be, because he likes that, you're just going to go with his approval, which I feel like that goes, well, it depends for that one, because I feel like if your man has a preference and you're trying to like make him happy, like, and you want to like, you know, like, I feel like it depends, like that's really tricky. But if you like a certain thing, you shouldn't change, you know what I'm saying, yourself for a person. Like, you know what I'm saying? You should tell your man, like, I know you like this, but I like this. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like it depends, but you just have to be like mindful with that, because it could go both ways. Because like, if you're in a relationship, obviously you want to please your man or you want to please your woman. So if your girl tells you, hey, I don't like the goatee, I like the beard, you're obviously going to do it because your girl likes it. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends. But some people try to change their whole identity because their man or their girl tells them they don't like this. You know what I'm saying? Or because they, you know what I'm saying? If you like something, just do what you like. And then there are times where you can do it sometimes for them, but it's like not every single time, you know? So yeah. That's the other one. Last one is you lose yourself without noticing. That's the scariest part. This doesn't happen all at once. Like, obviously it's not going to happen, you know, the first day you meet this guy and you're trying to seek validation, or the second day or the third day or the first day you meet the girl. It don't even matter. It's just, it starts small. Like I said, it starts with mood, depends on your person. Then you start looking for them for answers or for approval, seeking approval, and then you start moving different. You stay quiet about something that's bothering you. You let things slide. You ignore how you feel just to keep things good. Like, you know that you don't feel good about this situation, but because you're trying to keep the peace, you're walking on eggshells, making sure everything is good. So then he doesn't, or she doesn't like, he doesn't get mad at you, or whatever the case may be. And over time, you look up and you realize you're not even being yourself in a relationship no more. And that's when you lose yourself. Like, you start to realize, like, wait, hold on. What do I really like? What do I not like? What do I accept? What do I tolerate? I feel like that's when you're going back to finding your identity, because you don't even know who you are. You're allowing someone else to tell you who you are. A relationship should not be the place where you go and figure out your worth. It should be a place where it adds to your worth or adds on to you, right? A relationship is an addition to your life. Like, if I'm happy and I'm in a relationship, I'm even more happy. It shouldn't be me trying to seek validation towards my partner or anything like that. Like I said, you know, this might happen in the beginning of your relationship because you want to make the person happy. But then once you catch yourself, like, you know what I'm saying? Depending on their mood, depending on what they say to identify how your day's gonna go, that's when everything goes left. So just remember that I feel like it starts off small. Like, this is the first step, because I feel like this one, people can relate to it, because it doesn't have to be in a relationship. It can be also at the work spot or workplace. You go to work and someone messes up your whole mood, and then that whole day, it's just a whole bad day. You get what I'm saying? Don't let someone's bad day dictate your day, okay? Don't let someone's bad day dictate your day. So if you're having a good day and someone comes and messes it up, or your man is acting kind of funny or not in a good mood, that does not mean I have to be in a bad mood because you're in a bad mood. That's your bad mood. You're not going to destroy my good day. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know what's going on today. Don't let anyone dictate your day because they're having a bad day. If they're having a bad day, let them have a bad day and you have a good day. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But yeah. This is how you know you're seeking validation. Comment down below if you can relate to this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next. Bye. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you guys subscribe.